Dee, come back!
A horse I got in a previous mission. The horse! A pup!
Here's the dog you brought back. Bit of a troublemaker.
I thought you'd get that dog from somewhere else. I got it. It was randomly in Afghanistan.
He'll get bigger? Uh-huh. Like this.
Got him quick.
You know, I can look after him. He's still a pup, so he doesn't listen. I have a feeling someday he'll be useful. I suspect you've discovered a real diamond in the rough. With a little polish, I'd say we got a true diamond dog on our hands.
Jimmy's so on the nose, isn't he?
Dee, right? Hostile raising hounds. Fine.
Come on, Dee.
Cute little pup. Wow. I just meant to skip the time right there. I've done a few side ops, guys, if you're wondering where I came from. Just have a shower. I've done a few side ops, and now I think I'm going to head back to the main mission. Let's see.
Welcome back.
Secure the riot now. Cassette tapes, have I got anything there? No. Some of these cassette tapes are really important, so I'm going to play some of them for you guys. So you kind of learn what's been going on. Find out how Ocelot got his name Shalashaska, that you find out that's one of his names in Metal Gear Solid 2. I've listened to all these before, I think. And then the Salt 2 thing, you find out how Snake met with Ocelot, and formation of Cypher, and where Zero is. In fact, I'm going to play this one right now. This is the next important one. The Shalashaska one's not a big deal.
What's up, boss?
I first met you 20 years ago.
I probably won't speak now.
The place was Selenouyarsk in the Soviet Union. We were enemies. I was with the GRU. You were still fighting for America. 1964. Operation Snake Eater. Its objective? The assassination of the legendary soldier known as the Boss. When you returned home successful, they awarded you the title Big Boss. Your CO, Zero, sought to carry on the Boss's will by covertly establishing his own organization. You knew the original members from Operation Snake Eater. From America, there was David O, or as he was to you, Major Zero. Donald Anderson, aka Sigint. Dr. Clark, who went by paramedic during the operation. And the fourth, you. From China, there was Eva. And me, Ocelot, from the Soviet Union. 6 in total. To us, government notions of friend and foe were meaningless. As were East and West, we joined forces by our will alone. Our objective was to fulfill the Boss's dying wish, to make the world one. And to do it, Zero used the Philosopher's Legacy, the secret war fund you obtained during Operation Snake Eater. This organization would go on to become Cypher. I, on the other hand, was left with the problem. You only recovered half of the legacy. I had to locate the other half myself. When I found the funds, I passed them on to Zero, just as you wanted. I still trusted him in those days. We thought what he was doing was the Boss's will, until he started that one project. Les Enfants Terribles, Zero called it. You parted ways, as did Eva, leaving only Anderson and Clark still with him. I maintained limited contact. Although, truth be told, we were just keeping tabs on one another. The reason was always you. After you returned to the Army and created Foxhound, you left America. For a time, even I'd lost track of you. I'd imagine Zero did too. You always were the best when it came to hide and seek. Zero created Cypher, an information network to tap into every corner of the globe. Woven together, Cypher's arteries make the world just one big organism. And that's not all. It also monitors the thorn in Zero's side. That's you, tracking your coordinates wherever you might go. The further you strayed from your roots, the larger Zero became. It's as if he was trying to close the gap between you. But before long, he disappeared from public life. Only a few people had direct contact with him. For a time, I was one of them. Then a year after you fell into your coma, he slipped out of sight entirely. Since then, nothing.
Please surrender.
No photos,
Roger.
no recordings, not even a reliable rumor as to his whereabouts. I tried every method I could think of. Zero was gone. Freed of his control, his creation, his power continued to grow. Cypher is a great beast, and Zero was its spine. But even without it, it's endured, evolved. But now its body is rotting, riddled with parasites. Parasites like the ones who attacked you 9 years ago in the Caribbean, and then at the hospital. Cypher's Black Ops Unit, XOF. They learned where you were, and came to wipe the slate clean.
Okay, there you go. Now you learn about the origin of the Patriots and what's going on with Zero, and also you finally confirmed that Big Boss knows about the Leon Von Terrible project. But I guess he doesn't know if it's successful or not, which I'm guessing we will find out in this game that it was successful, which is good. Okay, now I'm going to look to do a story mission while playing one of the cassette tapes. I think Cars, what Cars is up to, and what he wants to do with Diamond Dogs, and just what's been going on really. So load.
Side ops list updated.
Oh, we've got new side ops. Right. Let's set myself up for a mission. Why is it taking so long to load the iDroid? That's so strange. I can't do anything. What's going on? Network error. Oh, I don't want to use online features.
Please select a mission.
These are the main missions, I think. Let's play the briefing for this one. Destroy the Soviet comms equipment and prevent reinforcement from being sent between outposts. Right.
Mission accepted.
Guess there's only a landing zone I can do.
Heading to Afghanistan.
Right, what do I want to take? Definitely want to take that. I want to get my full gear sorted now. Yeah. Flare grenade. Smoke grenade. I want to take everything I can. I can night vision goggles. What else can I take? No, I ain't got nothing else. Tools, yeah, got everything. Sweet. Let's go. Do this mission. Can I get Oh no, I can't get DD yet. I got it. So let's go.
Deploying.
ASAP. Well, I'm gonna play you guys a cassette tape while I'm doing this mission, so I won't be speaking. You can just listen to what's been going on between Cars and Diamond Dogs in the 9 years that Big Boss was in the coma. So you guys know what the hell is going on. Because the cassette tapes are so important, it's ridiculous. So much good information is in there if you really care about the story. So I'll just play that while I'm doing boring reconnaissance stuff and tagging enemies and trying to survive. Obviously when a storyline bit happens, like a cutscene, I'm sure the tapes will stop by themselves. If they don't, that's weird. Loading's taking long, man. I wonder if it's got something to do with the internet. I thought this game was meant to have like barely any loading in it. Kanali, you lied! Okay, here we go. Episode 4, C2W. Yeah, but if you guys didn't see, I did episode... Well, no, I don't know if it was episode 3. I did a mission previously where I had to...
Boss, you need to disable the Soviets' reinforcement system by putting a hole in their base-to-base comms network. Head for the Eastern Communications Post and destroy its comms equipment. First, use the binoculars to locate the communications equipment at the facility.
Yeah, I did a mission previously before this that I think was the main mission, where you had to recruit some Russian interpreter or something like that. No, that was a side up, wasn't it? Yeah, that was a side up. You had to recruit some really good soldier. I've done that one, but that was nothing special happened. What the hell? How'd you really? Oh, right. Right, let's get a tape going. You guys can catch up what's been going on at Big Boss's live. I don't need to listen to that. This is probably really important.
Kaz, what about the unit that attacked us in the mist? You knew something about them. That wasn't my first run-in with them. It happened right before I was captured by the Soviets. We were on the zero line that day, the Afghan side. On our way back from training the Mujahideen at a mountain camp in Kunar province. There's a lot of that work in Afghanistan. Most PFs shy away from it because it draws too much attention. But for us, that was the whole point. The job itself went great. We just had to make it back to a tribal area in Pakistan. But all of a sudden, visibility...
The target is there.
It was no sandstorm. Our point man gave the strange report. He said he could see skulls in the mist. Skulls. The next moment, he went silent. We scrambled into formation, right before his arms and legs came raining down on us. It was always supposed to be a dangerous mission, so I had Diamond Dog's very best with me. We were calling out to each other. But one by one, the voices just went dead. Whatever happened to me, I lost consciousness before I knew it. When I came to, I was in a Soviet camp, tied to an interrogation chair. Could they be some new Spetsnaz unit? No. The ones that interrogated me were just the average rank and file. Whatever group attacked us, the way they moved was just insane. And that mist, appearing out of nowhere. The Soviets don't have tech like that. If they did, Ocelot would have heard about it. I doubt the West does either. Otherwise, the folks at Langley would be sleeping a lot easier. Why'd they come after you? Wish I knew. I'm the only one who survived. Though I don't think they planned it that way. If I was their target, they wouldn't have just handed me over to the 40th Army. Whatever the case, we need to watch our step until we know who they really are. And boss, if you ever do run into them again, don't try to take them on. You just get the hell out of there. When I first started dealing with Zero, with Cypher, it was a somewhat parasitic relationship. Though,
a mutually beneficial one. Cypher had no army of their own, so they wanted us. They wanted our strength. They approached me as a potential business partner, but they had other motives. Cypher coaxed us into Central America, into that US-Soviet proxy war, to fuel Mother Base's growth. Once we were big enough, they'd force us to join them. That was the plan. That's why they had Paz, still Zeke. Right. And if we refused, she would use Zeke to fire a nuke from Mother Base. The world would consider us a liability, and countries would unite to destroy us. We stopped the launch. And yet they still took us down. Through that fake inspection they orchestrated to cover up their sabotage. That power Cypher wanted. We don't have it anymore. So why are they still after you? Is it just the fear of leaving you alive? I don't know. Was Zero really... All I know is the man I knew wouldn't want this. What do you mean? We have to consider that it might not be Zero we're dealing with. We know virtually nothing about Cypher anymore. How big they've gotten, what they want, or even who they really are. The new Mother Base started out as a test drilling rig operated by a mineral resources supplier, but their project fell through. The Seychelles government was happy to hand the place over to us. It was just scrap on stilts. So with a few dummy construction companies set up as fronts, we started renovating the half-finished rig. From the outside, it looked like the project was back on rails. Kaz, you... What? I see what you're doing. Recreating the Mother Base we had 9 years ago. Only this time. That's right. The Mother Base Cypher thought they destroyed will return from the grave to kill them. We'll prove to the world that we were the victors. And if we lose again? They can't fool us the same way twice. Now our enemies are in plain sight. And when our organization gets too big, we split it across companies. Any company that draws attention gets liquidated, and its capital is back-channeled into a new company. Most PFs are small-time operations anyway. And in this business, the minnows go bankrupt all the time.
Fuck. Did not expect that. Shit.
Aroused suspicion. Plus,
Shit.
Hewick? Human Exploitation Company. It's a business specializing in intel gathering. Think of it as a civilian intelligence agency. Cause that's... Remember what they were trying to accomplish at the prison facility in Cuba? That gave me the idea. We dispatch moles into conflict zones around the world, and each sets up an intel network on site. Then they stay in place to give us stable points of contact when other nations intervene in the conflicts. Hewick's strength is that it has a cutout at each level. You get your job from one guy, then you hand it off to another. No one has direct access. It's a perfect black box. Hewick members also work their way into the superpowers intelligence agencies to make sure Diamond Dogs gets work. We have those countries by the balls. That's our deterrent when we need it. Networking? In the intelligence community? Sure, that's how we've grown this far. And when you go out on missions, intel from Hewick will be there to back you up. But despite all that, Cypher has its eyes on us. The only reason I'm not dead is that they needed to know where you were. You made it. Woke up. First, use the binoculars to locate the communications equipment at the facility. To make their own surveillance work against them. I think it took some of the heat off Cyprus. Kaz. Then I just had to wait for you to save me. And I've gotten used to waiting. Kaz. That's not all. It was a good chance to scout the market. And with the West wanting the Soviets out of Afghanistan, their agencies are bursting at the seams with funding. Boss, let's start by building up our Afghan presence. Why put Mother Base in the Seychelles? We're at the center of the world here. We're all the way out in the Indian Ocean. Come on. Lebanon, Sri Lanka, East Timor, and Africa. From here, our reach extends to conflict zones the world over, including Afghanistan, of course. So it's prime real estate for a mercenary. Exactly. Latin America isn't as close as I'd like, but we have Amanda and her people to help in that department. And besides, the Seychelles government owes us a favor. Owes us? The Seychelles has strong ties to the east, which the West wanted to shake out. They came to... That antenna is one of the targets. In an attempt to... There should be more. It was Keep looking. South African mercenaries, with U.S. backing behind the scenes. They were only platoon size. But South Africa is home to some heavy PFs. Too much for the Seychelles to handle. In the end, they accepted help from the Tanzanian army and quelled the coup. We set up the deal and handled on-site tactical instruction. That led to some training work for the Seychelles military. And when we put down a mutiny within their forces, well, we made a lot of people happy. They don't pay us. They just let us have a piece of their offshore territory on the promise we'll come running if something else happens.
So we're bodyguards, too.
It's a good setup. We can only take Mother Base so far here. We'll have to find somewhere else when this place starts getting big.
Aren't you being a little hasty?
Nothing hasty about it. You're back with us now.
So, Kaz, the ship that took us from Cyprus, it used to be a whaler.
Yeah, a Japanese vessel. How was the voyage?
It was... stimulating.
Well, she was part of a whaling fleet up until a few years ago. Her displacement isn't anything to write home about, but she can really move. She still had plenty of life left in her, but then the work dried up. Global opposition to whaling has been mounting for years.
Is that right?
The push to ban it has been gaining traction for a little over a decade. Individual species came under protection as the years went on, and then 2 years ago the IWC adopted a moratorium on commercial whaling. Several countries, including Japan, fought it to the bitter end. But eventually, most whaling companies had no choice but to throw in the towel. You ever tried whale snake?
Can't say that I have.
When I was a kid in Japan, practically everybody ate it.
That good, huh?
The country was poor in those days, and whale was cheap. International opinions changed since then. In any case, that's why we were able to get a bargain price on the ship. Of course, we did end up spending 5 times the purchase price in modifications. We had to really work to fit in all the ESM and communications gear while keeping the whaler look intact. Right now, she's going around conducting SIGINT missions. In the future, we plan to use her as a communications relay base between you and Mother Base, and also as a chopper resupply vessel. Diamond dogs. The word diamond originally comes from the Greek adamas. It means indomitable, unyielding. Other words for the stones often mean eternal bond, fortitude, or purity. The same is true of the Star of Bethlehem flowers you laid on the boss's grave. They represent innocence, as well as chastity, yielding to no man while maintaining one's virtue. In other words, staying loyal to something.
Come on. I don't know if you guys
So your
listen to that.
suppressor is worn out. That gun will be as loud as any other now. If you have to shoot, be careful.
Now you get the gist. If you were listening to what was going on while Big Boss was knocked out, was in a coma for 9 years.
He's coming too. Roger that.
How are you supposed to take these out? I don't think I've got the weapons for it. I don't have any C4 or anything like that. Alright guys, it's been 23 minutes. I'll see you on part 12.